40 years I've been playing one of these things. 40 years. 27 years I've been in the mortgage business. Those two things seem like they probably don't relate to one another, but they actually, in some odd way, they kind of do. And I want to spend a couple minutes tonight talking a little bit about how they relate and why it matters. It matters to me, at least, and if you're in my orbit, if you're in my circuit, maybe it matters to you as well. So I revived this channel with the intent of chronicling what's going on with Six Gun Sally's summer tour with Lynyrd Skynyrd and Foreigner, and that is mostly what we're going to be covering on the videos thus far, right? But I also did reserve the right to talk about some things that are not directly related to the tour, but are more, maybe life lessons, if you will. And I think that's what tonight's video is going to be about. All right, so. 1985, I graduated from high school. I was not, I had played upright bass in the high school orchestra. Actually started in sixth grade, so I had a bit of a tenure there. I was an awful upright bass player. I was not very good at it. But I've always loved music. And when I graduated from high school, I had an opportunity to buy a bass guitar from a friend of mine at the time. It was a knockoff of a Fender Precision bass. And I went ahead and I bought it from him. And because nobody told me I wasn't supposed to be able to do this, I just sat down and learned side one of 2112 because I was a Rush fan, right? And Geddy's the reason I play bass guitar. He's the reason I'm a musician. So all I wanted to do was to be Geddy Lee. And so side one of 2112, I learned it badly. I went back years later and relearned it and realized just how badly I had learned it the first time. But the point of the story is it got me some chops really quickly, and it got me some confidence really quickly. And I just loved everything that I was doing. And so that very summer, I had a chance to, we started a band. Jeff Yeckel is the guitarist in Six Gun Sally with me. And Jeff and I started a band called Threshold back in 1985. And we played some pretty ambitious stuff, So, there were some Rush songs in there. There were Journey songs in there. There were Foreigner songs in there. And, when I look back on that, over the course of several years, we got more ambitious as we got more skilled. We added some Queensryche songs into the mix, some Iron Maiden, So we weren't a metal band, but we were a hard rock metal leaning kind of a band, if that makes any sense at all. Anyway. I will say that at that point in time, I was probably a little obnoxious as a bass player. Everyone that I was listening to was, it was Geddy Lee, it was Chris Squire, it was Billy Sheehan, wonderful bass player, right? Doesn't fit in every song, okay? Eddie Jackson, Queensryche, so my whole thing was, why would I play quarter notes if I could put 16th notes in and go up and down the neck all day long? And my guess is that it probably was a little bit annoying to be in a band with me at that point in time because I just never shut the hell up. All right, so and so one evening, and those who have been around me and heard the story, they're kind of tired of hearing it. I'm quite certain, but it is my epiphany moment. Shannon State Forest up in Elk County, up on a mountain in a fire pit. It's probably 3:00 in the morning. Winding down and Walking on the Moon came on the boom box, if you remember what those were back in the day. So the Police, Walking on the Moon. And here's this bass line. Like, the bass line is the entire song, and there's nothing to it, right? Like, it's a drum track, a bass line, and some guitar textures. That's the whole song. And the bass line almost doesn't even exist. there's so many holes in it. You could drive a semi through the holes in the bass line, you know? And I was just like, man, I'm doing this all wrong, you know? Like, I need to just stop for a minute and think about what I'm doing. So that was my epiphany moment, you know? It got me to a point where I realized that the role that my instrument plays it's crucial, it's foundational. And if I do my job wrong, it can destroy everything. You know, when you listen to a song like Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, you know, it's the same concept as Walking on the Moon. It's like John McVeigh played what he played. If he played any more, he would have stepped all over the song. And if he would have played any less, there wouldn't have been a song because his bass line is the song, you know? So, so that's been really instructive for me. It has made me be much more thoughtful about the way that I've played ever since then. And you know, my role in the band then is to be the foundation. I mean, that's what this is all about, right? And yes, I can be expressive, I can be melodic, and I find my opportunities to do that. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm playing a role where on any given moment in time, if the band slides off into the weeds somewhere, someone's kind of keeping an eye on where the tracks are and can bring us back to it. And that's kind of what I try to do. Okay. All right. So what does that have to do with life, the universe, and everything? You know, the grander scheme. Well, number one, um, this thing right here has introduced me to just about every important person that I've come across in my life, or most of them, not all of them, but most of them. You know, John Denver has a song called "This Old Guitar," and you know, that song resonates with me. He talks about how this old guitar brought me my lovely lady. You know, this old guitar brought me my life, my living, all the things you know I love to do, right? And when I think about my past, boy, I wouldn't have my family. I would not have met my wife. Um, you know, this is what got me into an Irish rock band playing at Mulaney's Harp and Fiddle on Penn and 24th in the Strip District. It's where I met the woman who would become my best friend, my soulmate, my wife, the mother of my children, you know. Um, I owe a debt of gratitude to this thing for that. Um, in terms of what it means for how I approach business, also really critically important, you know. I've not been someone who really needed to step out in front of the spotlight, you know, to bask in the glory. When you're in a role as a sales manager and you've got highly talented salespeople who do thrive in the spotlight, you know, it's kind of important to have an ability to step back from that and let you want your salesperson to take the glory in their victories. You don't want to take you don't want to take credit for their success, right? You want to help them succeed. You don't want to take credit for their success. And um, my role as a musician, as a bass player, really fits perfectly into my role as a sales manager. I'm not here to take any credit for anything that any of my salespeople do. I'm here to enable them. I'm here to give them a foundation they can stand on. I'm here to be the shoulders that they can climb upon to reach their higher success. And that's a role that is really valuable to me. Like I find it really rewarding to play that type of a role and to be in that sort of a position to support people, to help them to succeed. I do it all night long in the band with my bandmates. And, you know, as a business professional, I do it all day long with the people around me who rely upon me to be the foundation, to be the rock. I do that with my family, right? Um, and so all of it sort of comes full circle. So if you wonder how one of these over 40 years might translate in some sort of unobvious ways into successful skills, successful life skills in other areas of your world. Um, that's kind of how it's worked out for me. So I wouldn't trade this for the world. I love what I'm doing. I love the life I have. I'm grateful, grateful, grateful to be able to do what I'm doing, not just as a musician, as a husband, as a father, as a businessman. Um, I don't know what to say other than that it's been a great ride, and this has played a major, major role in making it happen.